When my friend Mary told me to make a speech at graduation, I told her she was out of her mind. The last thing I need to worry about when I play a tennis match is the people watching. I'm already dealing with two opponents, the guy across the net, and perhaps the more difficult enemy, myself. Whether it's on the tennis court, on a stage playing Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture, or at a desk writing an essay, all of us tend to be our own worst enemy. Sometimes it takes doing the uncomfortable to be happy. A few years ago, I was at my grandfather's birthday. He stood up, raised his glass, and said that he'd made a mistake. For too long, I have hid behind the curtain. He continued, what if I took the risk, and stood in the spotlight? We can spend our entire lives trying to answer that question, what if? What if I didn't come up here today? What if I applied to that college? What if I had studied more? The truth is, there would be far fewer what ifs if we just take chances. I remember walking into PCS for the first time. I was coming from a school that felt like a factory, where the students were the products. I was being built into something that I wasn't, and will never be. At PCS, kids have bigger goals than just completing a math problem, and education is far more than sitting at a desk. It is learning how to balance studying for an exam and practicing for a concert. I can't even begin to describe how good it feels to be on guided study and have teachers crossing their fingers, hoping that I won't be back soon, because that means I'm winning. This past winter, I remember sitting in the cafeteria with my friend during one of my free periods. I was sitting with Justin and congratulating him on a great concert in this very concert hall. To my ears, it sounded like he did an amazing job. On the other hand, I don't have a music career. He gave me a lengthy lecture, of which I'm embarrassed to say I picked up 3 words. Haydn, concerto, and movement. I finally cut him off and said, Justin, I have no idea what you're saying to me. I turned around and saw Miss Cleveland standing directly behind us. She laughed and told us how she wished she got in that conversation on tape. Conversations like that one occur all the time. I thought this one was worthy of speaking about because it shows how 2 kids who have completely different passions share a friendship of infinite value. It seems like everyone I've ever spoken to at this school has been different, yet the bonds that develop are deep. A model can be friends with an equestrian, a musician can be friends with a swimmer, a dancer can be friends with a lighting designer. We learn from each other, on the commons, in the cafeteria, and in the morning elevator. And as we continue to explore one another, we also explore ourselves. A few weeks ago, there was a senior luncheon. To someone who isn't used to getting their picture taken, the amount of cameras was a tad overwhelming. People were trying to take so many pictures because it meant freezing the last few days we had with each other at this school. Why did we wait so long to take these pictures? What if we had began preserving the memories a long time ago? We procrastinated, and that's what teenagers do best. Procrastination is usually the one thing we put off correcting for the longest. There is another reason why memories as a complete class are hard to find. There haven't been too many times when we've all been together. In fact, the senior luncheon may have been the closest we have ever been. If all of us were present all the time, then it would make us take times like these for granted. Let's cherish the few times when we were together, then let the many times roll. Don't untag yourself from the few pictures we have with one another on Facebook. I know it's intimidating how a lot of people in the school are photogenic, but take it from an athlete. 10 years from now, we will look completely different. We won't be saying that was a bad hair day. Instead, we will be remembering the people we were standing with, how each one affected us, and saying that is so PCS. One of the reasons why going to college can seem scary is because we're being divided. All of us were together for so long and helped each other so much that you begin to wonder, how on earth am I going to survive on my own? The truth is that we will still be together. Every conversation, every joke, every study session, every meal have all become a part of us, and will continue to be a part of us no matter where the future may lead. I mentioned earlier that coming to PCS could have been the scariest day of my life. I need to correct myself and say that it is definitely not. Leaving PCS is far more terrifying. Try not to think of leaving as being thrown into the sea, but it's more like bungee jumping. Each one of us will forever have a string that comes right back here and ultimately ties us together. Each one of us is a unique individual with different passions and futures. However, as we go to different places, remember that today we share two things in common. We are all dressed the same, and we are the class of 2009.